Technology usage in the classroom. So technology helps change the student and teachers' roles and responsibilities. So students take responsible for the learning outcomes while the teachers serve as the guide and facilitator. So basically, technology lends itself as a multi-dimensional tool that helps assess the learning process of the students. Technology can enhance teaching and learning by first is providing multiple material types for all learning styles. So when we talk about multiple, meaning a lot of materials or a lot of learning materials to consider. So since students have different styles of learning, so some learn best by listening, while other are through observing, and other is through actual performancing. So the fact is that individuals needs all three modalities to truly commit informations to memory. So what are these three modalities? It is the visual, the auditory, and the kinesthetic. So enhancing communication between faculty-student and student-to-student. So constant communications can enable the students to comfortably share their own thoughts and ideas to the topic being presented. So promoting constructivist and active learning. So constructivist says learners construct knowledge rather than just passively taking information. So if they can able to experience the world around them and able to experience, so they can reflect immediately, where they can able to relate that experiences to their pre-existing knowledge. And active learning means there is an active participations coming from the students. So enhancing collaborative teaching and learning. So collaborative meanings there is a collaboration of ideas coming from one student to another in order to formulate a new concept. So providing asynchronous and synchronous communication. So asynchronous communication happens when information can be exchanged independent of time. So it doesn't require the recipients to immediately respond to the said email. So allowing them to respond that message at their own convenience time. So what are examples of asynchronous? So we have the emails, the online forums, and the collaborative documents. So next is the synchronous communication. So synchronous communication refers to communication between two or more people at the same time, but not necessarily at the same place. So for examples are phone calls. So promoting higher expectations via peer review and feedback. So receiving feedback from their own peers helps students understand their performance better and helps them create a strong culture of frequent feedback in the team. So it allows team members to understand what are their strengths and weaknesses towards improving the team productivity. So they can able to let that skills improve because they already know what they should do in order to change that skills into productivity. So providing prompt progress information. So prompt progress because through accessing the internet, so we can able to know immediately what are the informations we are looking for instead of flipping on the pages of book where it takes an hour to grasp the information needed. So enabling stronger group collaboration. So if there is a group collaboration, so there is a strong bands on how to achieve a common goal by sharing ideas and skills. If there is group collaboration, there is an exchange of ideas where they can able to formulate new ideas in order to make that project or research become successful. So promoting and fostering lifelong learning. So lifelong learning is a process of gaining knowledge and learning new skills throughout your life. So lifelong learning meaning it talks about how the students able to gain or to get knowledge, and that knowledge would be applied into their future field if they're going to pursue their learnings and become a teacher in the future. So best practices for using technology in the classroom. So when using technology for teaching, so there are 4 basic principles to be kept in mind. First is the alignment, accessibility, assessment, and enforcement. So alignment. So technology should be used for a purpose, so not for the sake of being flashy and not as a distraction from other forms of pedagogy. So alignment meaning there is consistency of the provided lesson. So we have to make sure that technology serves its purpose, which is it gives us, or it will be a better help for our students to access information we need in the internet. But be sure that we know how to manage our time so that we can't be distracted from other forms of pedagogy. Like for example, instead of accessing the internet because we have something to do, we have something to research regarding our assignments, but instead we went to access Facebook and Messenger. So that is a big distraction for the students. So accessibility, be sure that the technology that you intend to use is accessible to your students. Of course, we have to make sure that the technology we are asking for them is very accessible, like for example cell phones, because if we're going to let our learners buy laptops, so we cannot do that because laptops is too expensive for the students to provide. So assessment, as with lectures, discussions, and labs, provide your students with guidance when dealing with media technology. So for example, in a laboratory, so teachers needs to guide their students on how to perform the said apparatus, because there might be an accident happen if we will not going to give them ideas on how to use that technology. So it is very dangerous if we're going to let them perform without knowing the functions of that tools or technologies. So reinforcement. So technology should be used as reinforcement and supplement to your teaching. So meaning technology can be used to teach new skills, teach a replacement behavior for an interfering behavior. So it should be a positive reinforcement. So that would be all, and thank you for listening.